with the headlines. KANO State employs 4,315 teachers, plans to employ 2,600 more. LCCI pushes youth innovation ahead of 41st OMOLAYOLE lecture. Ghana secures key roles in global cybersecurity and digital governance. Niger police warn scrap dealers riders over vandalism. Africa climbs in global innovation index despite global slowdown. West Africa named world's fastest growing gold region. Away from Africa, Switzerland tops China, enters top 10 as investment growth slows. And in health, FCT doctors suspend strike, resume work on Monday. In business, SHOPRITE to reopen closed stores after major restructuring. Senegal raises $542 in WAEMU bonds amid debt challenges. And in sports, Niger's The Tigers dropped to 53rd in latest FIBA rankings. Now the news in full. In KANO State, Governor Abba Yusuf has announced employment of 4,350 new teachers under the Better Education Delivery for All program. The governor announced while distributing appointment letters to the recruits, saying the move is aimed at improving the teacher-to-student or pupil ratio across the state. Governor Yusuf also directed the State Universal Basic Education Board to begin recruiting an additional 2,616 qualified teachers in the coming weeks. He highlighted other education reforms, including the construction and rehabilitation of schools, the distribution of books and materials to all 44 local government areas, and a 200 million naira teacher loan scheme to support staff welfare. To improve supervision, the government has provided 440 motorcycles and 300 tablet computers to school support officers, and 17,000 watchmen are being hired to enhance school safety. Governor Yusuf urged the new teachers to teach with passion, serve with integrity, and help shape the character of the next generation. Moving on, the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry is placing young creators and entrepreneurs at the center of its agenda as it prepares to host the 41st OMOLAYOLE Management Lecture Series. Speaking at a press conference in Lagos, LCCI President Gabriel Idahosa, represented by Deputy President Leye Kupoluyi, described young creators as key drivers in sustainable businesses, calling for better coaching to help them protect and monetize their work. This year's lecture theme, Plotlines of Prosperity, or Plotlines of Prosperity, African Stories, African Rights, and African Returns, will take place on September 25th at Commerce House. Organizers see the theme as a call to action to reshape African narratives, secure dignity through rights, and maximize social, cultural, and economic returns for the continent's growth. Kupoluyi said the series will spotlight youth entrepreneurship and creativity beyond the art, urging young Nigerians to turn ideas into viable businesses. President of the ISEC Alumni Association, Marcel Mba, revealed that Kenyan author Yvonne Owo, writer of The Dragonfly Sea, will be one of the speakers, noting that cross-African dialogue will help strengthen efforts to help Africans tell and own their stories. Director General of LCCI, Dr. Chinyere Almona, described the lecture as a pivotal platform for young people, while Registrar of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Oluwatoyin Naiwo, said the event is a reminder to young Nigerians that there is still opportunity and potential at home, despite the Japa trend. Business leaders, academics, and creative sector practitioners are expected to take part in the lecture, which will focus on driving inclusive economic growth and ensuring creators capture the value they generate. And over to Ghana, it has strengthened its leadership in global digital and cybersecurity governance. The Minister of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, confirmed that Ghana has been re-elected as chair of the African Network of Cybersecurity Authorities and as a member of the Council of Administration of the Universal Postal Union. He said the achievement was a result of strong collaboration between the Cybersecurity Authority, Ghana Post, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The minister added that Ghana also held high-level discussions in Japan, China, Rabat, and Dubai, aimed at unlocking fresh opportunities in technology and innovation. Officials say the new rules will give Ghana greater access to advanced technology, improve support systems, and strengthen the country's digital transformation agenda. The Commissioner of Police in Niger State, Adamu Eleman, has issued a stern warning to scrap dealers and members of the Amalgamated Commercial Motorcycle Owners and Riders Association of Nigeria against aiding vandals by buying or transporting stolen public property. Speaking at a meeting with the group's leadership at the police command headquarters in Minna, Eleman urged scrap dealers to conduct their businesses responsibly and avoid purchasing items that are clearly stolen. He stressed that anyone caught with vandalized materials would face prosecution. The commissioner also noted that motorcycles and tricycles are frequently used to convey stolen power cables, metals, and other infrastructure. He tasked Akoboran leaders to educate their members and reminded them that ignorance would not be accepted as a defense. Eleman disclosed that the Niger state government is preparing a legal framework to regulate scrap trading and urged dealers to comply once the law takes effect. Both the Scrap Dealers Association and Akomoran pledged full cooperation with security agencies and highlighted ongoing measures including banning under 18s from the trade, mandatory member identification and tighter screening processes. The meeting comes as the state government has directed all scrap and waste dealers in Niger's 25 local government areas to register with their residential and business addresses, BVN, and national identification numbers before being licensed to operate. Moving on. Africa is making steady progress in innovation, even as global growth slows, according to the 2025 Global Innovation Index released by the World Intellectual Property Organization, Cornell University, and INSEAD. Mauritius remains Africa's most innovative nation, ranking 53rd globally, 2 spots higher than last year, driven by strong venture capital performance. Morocco made one of the biggest jumps worldwide, climbing 9 places to rank 57th with strong scores in education, spending, labor, productivity, and trademark applications. South Africa moved up 8 spots to 61st globally, placing 3rd in Africa, followed by Seychelles, Tunisia, Egypt, Botswana, Senegal, Namibia, and Cape Verde. Namibia posted the largest leap among African countries, rising 11 places. Overall, 12 African nations improved their ranking this year, reflecting stronger institutions, better business ecosystems, and growing entrepreneurial activity. 5 new African countries joined the index, including the Seychelles, Malawi, Lesotho, Guinea, and Congo. WAEMU warns that the global innovation investment is slowing, with growth in research and development spending dropping to 2.9% in 2024, down from 4.4% the year before. Moving on. West Africa has been declared the world's most dynamic gold-producing region at the Mining Forum Americas 2025 in Colorado. Industry leaders including Anglo Gold, Ashanti, Endeavour Mining, Allied Gold, and B2 Gold praised the region's rapid project development, with mines moving from permit to production faster than in the Americas. Key highlights include the early commissioning of the Kiaka mine in Burkina Faso by West African Resources, the imminent production start of the Kiniero project in Guinea by Robex Resources, and major expansions at the Seguela mine in Côte d'Ivoire and the Fekula mine in Mali. A recent analysis by Aurum Resources supports this momentum, noting a 127% rise in West Africa's gold production between 2010 and 2022, outpacing China, Russia, Canada, and the United States. However, the forum also highlighted challenges such as rising resource nationalism, Mali's new mining code, and ongoing energy and logistics constraints. West Africa's gold sector experts say will continue to grow if investment and infrastructure development are sustained. Away from Africa now, Switzerland once again leads the World Intellectual Property Organization's Global Innovation Index for 2025, followed by Sweden, the United States, the Republic of Korea, and Singapore. The United Kingdom, Finland, and the Netherlands, Denmark, and for the first time, China complete the top 10. Now in its 18th edition, the Global Innovation Index ranks nearly 140 economies using over 80 indicators, including research and development spending, venture capital deals, high-tech exports, and intellectual property filings. The report warns that slowing growth in innovation investment is clouding the global outlook. A group of middle-income economies continue to rise. China leads this group globally at 10th place, while India, Turkey, Vietnam, and the Philippines, Indonesia, also climb the ranks. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Brazil, and Morocco are among the fastest movers since 2020. Regionally, Southeast Asia, East Asia, and Oceanic remain a powerhouse with 6 economies in the top 25 and China hosting 24 of the world's top 100 innovation clusters. The Philippines enters the top 50 for the first time, driven by high-tech trade and creative industries. In Central and Southern Asia, India remains the region's innovation leader, advancing to 38th place and maintaining its top spot among lower and middle-income economies thanks to strong ICT exports and a thriving startup ecosystem. Northern Africa and Western Asia also saw gains, with Israel, Cyprus and the UAE leading the way and Morocco making one of the biggest jumps this year. In sub-Saharan Africa, Mauritius remains the top performer at 53rd, while Nigeria rises to 105th position, ranking first globally for unicorn valuation and showing growth in venture capital funding and high-tech imports. The Global Innovation Index produced by WAEMU in partnership with the Portland Institute has become a benchmark for policymakers and business leaders to track innovation performance and shape strategies for growth. Let's now go on a short break. The news continues when we return.
Smart apps. Smart apps leverage AI and machine learning to provide personalized user experiences and automate tasks. These apps are being used across sectors like finance, healthcare, and retail to improve customer engagement and operational efficiency. For example, smart investment apps offer tailored financial advice, while healthcare apps assist in diagnostics. However, data privacy remains a concern as these apps collect sensitive user information. The market for smart apps is projected to grow to $62.4 billion by 2025. Sustainable technology. Sustainable technology focuses on reducing the environmental impact of industries by leveraging green energy, recycling, and waste management innovations. From solar panels to green manufacturing processes, the focus is on sustainability as regulations tighten globally. But scalability remains a concern. Green technologies often require large initial investments, and the global infrastructure isn't always equipped to handle the shift away from fossil fuels. The sustainable tech market is projected to grow from $36.6 billion by 2027, with industries like transportation, energy, and manufacturing leading the way.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Idea TV News Update. Now, the rest of the stories. In health, doctors under the Association of Resident Doctors in the Federal Capital Territory have suspended an indefinite strike and will resume duties by 8 a.m. on Monday. The president of the association, Dr. George Ebong, confirmed the development, saying the decision followed interventions from the Senate Committee on Federal Territory Area Councils and Ancillary Matters. He, however, noted that none of the doctors' demands have been met, which include payment of salary arrears for members employed since 2023, recruitment of new staff, settlement of the new 2025 Medical Residency Training Fund, and payment of arrears from the 25th 35% salary review. The association is also demanding timelines for promotions and conversions, resolution of salary deductions, payment of hazard allowances, and renovation of FCTA hospitals. Dr. Ebong said the Doctors' Congress will reconvene to assess progress within the agreed time frame, warning that if there is no action, members may return to industrial action. And in business, SHOPRITE Nigeria is set to reopen several of its temporarily closed outlets ahead of the year-end shopping rush. Retail Supermarkets Nigeria Limited, which operates the SHOPRITE franchise in the country, says the closures were due to working capital constraints and operational setbacks, including unreliable power supply that affected fresh produce. Chief Strategy Officer Bumi Cynthia Adeyele says the company has undergone a major restructuring, focusing on smaller and more efficient store formats, increased local sourcing, competitive pricing, and tighter liquidity management. She describes the move as a reset rather than a collapse, adding that with new investors, SHOPRITE is rebuilding to become an affordable, culturally relevant and resilient. SHOPRITE entered Nigeria in 2005 and now has 25 stores nationwide. Though some outlets have faced temporary shutdowns due to tough economic conditions, its return commerce other supermarket operators such as Bokumat, Jendol and Prince Ebaino continue to expand, highlighting ongoing opportunities in Nigeria's consumer markets. Moving on, Senegal has raised $542 million through a new bond issue in the West African Economic and Monetary Union market as the country faces mounting debt pressures. The syndicated issue totals 300 billion CFA francs and is Senegal's third public call for funds this year. It comes on top of more than 2,700 billion CFA francs already mobilized through bonds and auctions in 2025. The bond is structured across 4 tranches, 3, 5, 7 and 10-year maturities, with coupons ranging from 6.4%, 6.95% and grace periods on the longer notes. Senegal's heavy borrowing follows a February audit that revealed hidden liabilities equaling to 41% of GDP, pushing public debt to almost 119% of GDP by the end of 2024. In July, S&P Global Ratings downgraded the country's credit rating, warning of fiscal fragility. Officials in Dakar are counting on new oil and gas output to help ease the burden. Growth surged to 12.1% in the first quarter, but outside hydrocarbons, the economy slowed down to just over 3%. Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko has launched a recovery plan aimed at cutting the budget deficit to 3% of GDP by 2027, supported by higher domestic revenue and spending cuts. Talks are ongoing with the International Monetary Fund for a possible support program to reassure investors and improve access to future financing. And in sports, Nigeria's senior men's basketball team, the Tigers, has fallen to 53rd in the world in the latest FIBA rankings, an 11-place drop from their previous 42nd position in March. On the African continent, the 2015 AfroBasket champions slipped from 6 to 8, now holding 248.7 points, down from 297.8 earlier in the year. The decline comes despite a strong group stage performance at AfroBasket 2025 in Angola, where Nigeria topped Group B after wins against Madagascar, Tunisia and Cameroon. The campaign ended in the quarterfinals with a 91-75 defeat to Senegal. Top performers included Caleb Agada, Joseph Okogie, Stan Okoya, Nike Nwamu. Attention now turns to the FIBA Men's World Cup qualifiers in November, where Nigeria will look to secure spot in the 2027 edition in Qatar, their first World Cup appearance since 2019. South Sudan remains Africa's top-ranked side, sitting 24th globally, while newly crowned champions Angola moved up to second on the continent and 29th nationwide. The United States still leads the global rankings ahead of Germany, Serbia, France and Canada. And that's all we have for your Nigeria TV News updates. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. We brought you news that KANO State has employed 4,315 teachers with plans to employ 2,600 more. You also heard that LCCI pushes youth innovation ahead of 41st OMOLAYOLE lecture. You also heard Ghana secures key roles in global cybersecurity and digital governance. We brought you news that Niger police warn scrap dealers and riders over vandalism. Africa climbs in Global Innovation Index despite global slowdown. You also heard that West Africa has named the world's fastest growing gold region. Away from Africa, Switzerland tops and China enters top 10 as investment growth slows. And in health, FCT doctors suspend strike set to resume work on Monday. In business, SHOPRITE is set to reopen closed doors after major restructuring. Still in business, Senegal raises $542 million in WAEMU bonds amid debt challenges. And in sports, Nigeria's the Tigers drop to 53rd in latest FIBA rankings. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Chinatu Ajit. Thank you for watching.
.5G technology. 5G technology promises to be a game changer by delivering ultra-fast internet speeds, low latency, and the ability to connect millions of devices seamlessly. It's going to fuel the future of smart cities, autonomous vehicles, and IoT devices, allowing them to communicate in real time. However, 5G rollout isn't without hurdles. High costs of infrastructure and regulatory issues in some regions have slowed down implementation. By 2026, the 5G market is expected to be valued at $667.90 billion, with the US, China, and South Korea leading the change. The challenge? Cybersecurity risks and data privacy will remain top concerns as more devices become connected.